Welcome to We Love to Hate Everything. I'm Jody, and along with my long-distance bestie Amanda, we live to break down all the things we love to hate. Each week, we scour TV, TikTok, and pop culture and deliver you our unfiltered, snarky takes on everything. Take a moment to subscribe on YouTube so you catch all our live streams and shows, and follow the links in the banner to subscribe to our free weekly podcast and 2 Patreon shows, We Love to Hate TV and Total Request Podcast, where you request the shows and we break them down. Once subscribed, you have instant access to our massive library of hundreds of past shows and recaps. We promise you'll love it. And listen, we're all friends here, so let us hear from you in the comments. We love getting to know you, and we hope you enjoy the show. All right, let's go. Hello, and welcome to We Love to Hate Everything. I am Jody, who's matching my 20.
Amanada!
We didn't even plan this today. We're both wearing our JanelleSays.com chose the kids, chose the dog t-shirts.
The two of us wearing it are definitely, I think everyone out there knows which one of those both of us are choosing.
We're the target demo of this of this sales pitch for sure.
I just got like okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Monday edition. I love when it's just a little more chill here.
Yeah, nice and relaxed. We don't have a whole full recap because there was no Sister Wives this week, sadly. But holy cow, we got a show for you. We're talking about, of course, our housekeeping, what's coming up, all our new merch. But today we're talking. I mean, the talk of the town is this SNL mega fest of the 50th anniversary. So we'll be talking about that.
Meaning Jody's house and my house.
Uh-huh.
But
we're talking another one. Beast Games. Traitors. White Lotus. Doughboys, of course. Love is Blind.
Yeah.
But
no one else is listening to or watching other than us. So get ready.
And of course, a little toe into Browntown. See what's going on with our favorite Sister Wives family.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, really quickly, I love that you announced housekeeping as things to look for.
Well, because we get to hear this awesome sound.
What do we got?
Oh, I love it. That's right. Okay, maybe I have it correct. Season 12, episode 11, game night. And we are laughing. We're having so much fun.
Yeah, it's tense. It's tense.
If you are a person that is sensitive to people talking over one another, well, first of all, you wouldn't be listening right now. But the Brown family screaming over each other. No rules are being.
We spent like a good deal of time because there's like everyone looks drastically different than like the Confronting Mary episode. And so in the background, there was like a dry erase board calendar in Christine's house. So we spent a long time trying to figure out when this aired, before or after Confronting Mary, which was about Axel's birth. And then halfway through the episode, Jody's like, oh, Axel's like right there. So this is like,
we're like, Madison looks real. Like she doesn't look like she's had a baby yet. We're trying to figure out timeline with the scoliosis camp. And we're like, okay, this is definitely before Axel's born. And then we're like, oh, look, Axel's taking his first steps.
Yeah. So it's interesting. But it actually, the reason I wanted to know that is because it really lends to the episode, because there's a lot going on in this thing. A lot of flashbacks too. And then girl dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, before Girl Dinner on Total Request Podcast, we have The Office Valentine's Day. And we just had a Valentine's Day. We can talk about that in a moment. But I know you're super excited about this week's Girl Dinner. It's an episode of Dough Girls, a little homage to Amanda's favorite podcast, the Doughboys. And what do we take on? Like,
chain restaurants. We discussed chain restaurants.
Down, not counter service. That's going to be an episode.
We really had an issue wrapping our head around this. Lots of pre-show, pre-recording text. Like, so what? I'm like, write down restaurants that you like.
I like those rules, babe. Okay. Some of us like to have rules. And in case you want to know what's coming up on TRP this month, we have one more episode to honor January. Boy Meets World
It's
Heartbreak
February.
Corey. That's right. What did I say?
January.
Oh, God. Put
So
me out of
we're
my misery,
talking, like,
Amanda.
6 days. So, like, this is going to be tangents. It's going to be messy.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, check out our merch shop. We have a little changes to come, but it's going to be all for the better, be easier to order, all that good stuff. But check that out if you want to support us and support the show, either at Redbubble or Teespring.
Great.
All right, Amanda. Hot
I
topics?
Well, no, there's a couple other little quick
Oh, no.
things here. We need more voicemails. You guys did so good sending in voicemails, and we're just going to keep doing these mailbags. So remember to go leave a voicemail. It could be about anything. And every single person in there is like, I'm really nervous and stuff. Don't be nervous. But if you are nervous, just start rambling. We love it. Also, it fills time in our show. So just call and talk.
Listen to me bombing the first couple minutes here. Wow.
Yeah, we were not really in sync yet. And then the last thing, you can also join us here on YouTube, guys. We got a bunch of new members the past couple of weeks, so welcome to all those new members. And I think that's it. Let's get into some hot topics. Yeah? Unless you have more housekeeping.
I'm just laughing.
Okay.
I love it. Oh, good. Me and Josh is going to leave a voicemail. Honestly, don't worry about like what you're going to say. Ramble.
We love it.
Whatever. We don't care.
We love hearing your voices too. We know you guys all so well, we feel already.
Hey, Amanda, what did you do for Valentine's Day?
Oh, well, I did a bunch of Instacarts, but it was nuts.
Wait, excuse me, what? Oh
my God, Insta farts.
Thank you.
And I made look, I'm getting my car back tomorrow. The guy was like, worst case scenario, it's going to be like $3,300. And then I'm like, well, just try it. He's like, but that's like worst case scenario. And then I call him like, is my car ready? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what's the total? And then he's like, it was $3,649 got you at. And I was like,
whoa.
Are you allowed to quote someone that much lower than like what it turns out to be?
I would ask why. I would ask for but anyway, I
don't even care anymore. Whatever. I'm getting
a way to spend your Valentine's.
I got my period.
Oh, that's fun.
22-day marker there. A little surprise for me.
You think you might be entering?
Oh yeah, Jody's like, welcome to perimenopause. I'm like, oh, that's what all the night sweats are about, and how that I was like feral with hormones last month, and I was like, why am I so horny this month? Obviously, that's what it is.
Years. I bet you like men go through something similar too.
I want to now ask, because now it's serious. I'm like, so it's a crapshoot anytime I have a like date with someone, because we were really testing the limits on Valentine's Day. And so like, can you tell me about these disc things? Is everyone else out there using these? I've never heard of this until you said that.
You're like period disc. I think I found it because I started like going through this thing a couple of years ago. I'm like going through divorce, dating. I'm like, whoa, shit. Like, yeah, I got my period. What do I do? Never had to deal with this. And I Googled it. I found it. And I was like, okay, what are these things? Ordered them on Amazon. They're just like menstruation discs.
Are we doing reusable?
Reusable. Oh, no, not reusable. Throw them away.
Disposable.
Disposable.
You said to only look at reusable. I'm like, how do I get this out?
Don't. Oh, I thought I said not reusable. No, get the disposable ones.
Okay, how do I get it out though? Do I need to like really like?
It'll tell you. Kind of, and you just like grab it.
Really? So it's like getting a contact out. Is that kind of what it's like?
No, it's a lot easier.
I don't know, babe. What if it gets lost?
It's a lot easier. I'm telling you, it is. It's
like shoved through into like your cervix.
No, like if you've been, I would say getting a dry tampon out hurts more than getting this thing out.
I gotta do it.
You got to do it. But yeah, you could definitely like have sex on it and stuff. But welcome, as we are losing every man who's listening. Sorry about that.
Hey, Jacob's still here. He's holding down the fort. What did you do? Did you have fun Valentine's
did
Day.
I do on Valentine's Day? We didn't do any reservations, and I truly have always thought, like, okay, acknowledge it a little bit, but it
Yes,
is a
exactly.
Hallmark holiday. Like, it's kind of lame. Like, what do you like? Oh, get me red heart-shaped chocolates. Like, it is very cheesy.
Oh, but that's why I made so much money, because there was a lot of people like doing what I told everyone to do on that one leftovers episode, where everyone has figured out this hack of not getting flower delivery, of getting Instacart delivery
It's
from
brilliant.
like a grocery store. Flowers.
Brilliant. Oh,
Picked up
Jacob, I
flowers.
love you. This is so progressive of you. Jacob says periods are natural, nothing to be bothered by.
Jacob was very supportive in my last month period fiasco. I guess
we all need a Jacob.
We
Stay.
do.
Don't go away. Stay.
Would you be interested in a lavender marriage, Jacob? Would you like to live in Canada?
Oh my God. God, what did we do? We went out to, I know why. It was like a really bad snowstorm was coming in. So we just went to like a little smaller, kind of, I don't know, newer supper club sort of thing around here. Nice and early. Got in right before before 5. And
that's what I call the early bird special. It's cheaper.
Yeah, stopped at a little like a little smoke shop on the way out, totally legal. Just shopped around, looked, and then came home. Cozy. And we started watching Love is Blind, which we're going to talk about.
Okay, I also watched some Love is Blind. I watched a lot of stuff this weekend.
I don't know how I feel about this season yet, but I cannot wait to talk about it. So we did part.
Oh, I wanted to tell you this. I made the money. I made that money between that and like this like pet sitting business, which is now like blowing up. Thank God. I'm like, oh yeah, I do have other skills. I could like do that. Anyway, I wanted to just tell you this very Amanda thing. How I kind of just always like fall ass backwards into things. But first of all, Daphne's been out of town on a cruise for 2 weeks. Okay. She's still in Palm Springs for another 2 weeks, like her and her like 2 sisters and their husbands, this whole thing. And I've just noticed, and like when she left was right when my car got like, it was like the day after my car crashed. And so I haven't had her here to raise my level of anxiety about anything. And I've just noticed, like, I've really gone through a lot of like personal reflection here. And I'm like, oh, and Jody, I feel like maybe you need to hear this too. I've found that not everything that happens is a catastrophe. In fact, most things will work out if you just don't stress about it all the time. I figured.
Wait, so you're saying
it'll be fine, is what I'm saying. Like, this doesn't need to be handled right now. In fact, if you don't, it'll still be the same result. You're like, just, you're fine. Don't think about it.
Okay, while I'm asking this question, I can totally hear myself.
Oh, I'll turn it down.
So you're saying if I don't just toss and turn all night, thinking the same thing over and over and over again,
bad solution.
What I should have done, what I should be doing, and what I should do.
Yeah.
Things are just going to happen the way they're going to happen anyway. Yeah. That can't be right.
This is not always going to be, oh, I'm homeless now. I've lost everything. So I've really noticed that. So then
that's not what my parents taught me.
Well, my mom got to port. So now they're back and she has like cell service in Palm Springs. And the text was, ask me, like, just guess what this text was. The most.
Have you heard anything from your car? What's happening with your car?
We're back. We had a great time. Did you get your car fixed? And immediately my anxiety was like, and I was like, yes. How much was it? So I'm ignoring all these answers. And I'm like, I'm super busy right now. I just like can't. And I had just taken an edible. And I'm like, I do not have the bandwidth right now to do this. So I'm like, I'll call you tomorrow. And then she goes, okay, great. Are you still dating that same guy?
And you're like, bye-bye. I can hear you very well.
Anyway, so this is what I found. But as I was like dealing with all of this, like in like where I'm getting all this money from to pay $3,600, I was like looking up my taxes, and it was like I keep getting notices from my taxes saying you owe this much, and I'm paying $1,000 a month. And I'm like, why do I still owe like a couple grand? And I like log in, I'm like looking around, and my aunt, who's my accountant, is on this trip with my mom, so I can't even ask her about it because can you imagine if my aunt
don't
like,
do that.
Amanda just asked me about something what's going on with her taxes. I have because I pay my taxes from different places every month because this is kind of just this level of chaos I like to keep in my life. Just stuff like that where I'm like, I'm in control of it, but like, who knows? Maybe this time it'll come from this bank account and it'll go over here and then I'll pay this way and I'll pay automatic this month. Okay. I have accidentally paid $4,600 into installments for next year due to my own irresponsibility with my money management.
Okay, I was gonna ask. I'm like, how does that work? So you're saving to the side. They charge you every month.
Well, I've never owed. This is so boring, but I've never owed.
I'm not really sure.
I never owe taxes. I always like make money back. So I moved here, and then last year, my auntie Twyla did my taxes, and she's like, "Okay, you owe 10 grand," and I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I don't have that," and she's like, "Well, you just like kind of pay it off." So I've just been like paying that off. But then I've accidentally also put like half of that toward this year. Well, look at me adulting by accident.
Adulting. Good job. Speaking of accident, you have on the list to talk about CRA accident, and I'm afraid to ask what
that's what that is.
CRA? What does that mean?
The Canada Revenue Agency, Jody.
Isn't that cute? It sounds so cute. CRA accident. Here they call it like an IRS audit.
Yeah.
Sounds much scarier. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into things that actually apply to other people. What did we watch this week?
Did we go through our hot topics yet? We did it, right? We did hot topics. So let's if we could talk about Traitors first, because I've been dying to talk about this. I've been trying to get you to watch it. Did you watch Traitors?
I did because Joan was watching it live and he was texting me like videos of it.
I was
and then you had already messaged me about it.
Okay, so first of all, so this is Sam Ashgari. This is Brittany's ex-husband, longtime former boyfriend, ex-husband. This guy, I don't know how he got mixed up with like the Spears clan and this conservatorship. We need to save Sam. Like, not forget Brittany, but like we need to make sure Sam is okay because he seems like the most I don't know, lovable, nice guy. He's playing like patty cake with Ivar every time. He just seems like such a sweet man. But I don't know if this is the right show for him.
Yeah, he's not doing much.
No. Like, I'm happy he's okay. And maybe that's just what this is. Maybe this is just Sam's proof of life.
I watched a TikTok of a girl recapping his interview on the Vile Files. He was on the Vile Files. And she said he like talked around Brittany a lot, but he also kind of did talk about it a lot. And like, I don't trust any men ever, but like, I could see what the story that he's going with about like why he kind of looked over Brittany's what is it called? Conservatorship. Like why whatever the story that he's settled on makes sense. Is that he came from like, where's he from?
Oh, like Iran or something.
Sure. So, like it's to him, it wasn't like he's like, I knew that who Britney Spears was, but more of like an international star. So it wasn't like he knew who she was, but it wasn't like Britney. Like he didn't realize that she was that big, like how big she was, because that just doesn't exist. And then he also said that the fact that she was in a conservatorship wasn't that strange to him because where he's from, men have full control over women. So to him, it didn't really strike as
I could see that.
So everything kind of checked out. No, that doesn't
mean and if you're not sure like what family dynamics are necessarily like, and hers is really a unique situation.
Exactly. And he said that he like learned English, I think, just from watching TV and just like other people. So he really is. It is a culture shock.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. I just don't get like the model thing. Like I don't find him physically attractive. Like he looks too much like a doll or something. Like a
Yeah.
too perfect, or like how a Disney artist would sketch a man, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
I think he's pretty good
Well,
looking. Well, let's talk about someone
he
who's not.
doesn't look like our former SNL host on a stool, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Dave Chappelle.
Not a lot back in there. But the
Hang on,
real
really quickly. In the comments
yeah.
here, Bakerface says that we got a message on Little Miss Recap this week. That's nice.
Ooh,
They were just on Surviving Sister Wives, and I listened to it, and they said they think that the long game here is that I almost said Jody, Janelle and Christina are planning to quit the show because that's the best way to stick it to Robin and Cody. And I was like, I hope they don't, because I want the show to go on for the rest of my life. But that would be really good.
Like just have their own. I could see them
Not
like,
even that.
and doing their own.
Maybe. But because they're like, because Christine just got another B&B and Janelle is like doing all this other shit. So that's interesting.
I hope for their sake. I'm glad they're doing these things that are going to sustain their income past the show. But I do think it would be very unwise to walk away from something will like they will eventually not do the show. That's an inevitable. It will not go on forever. But cash those checks while you can still get them.
I would.
Because naturally those other things are going to come down too, like Airbnbs and you know.
Of course.
I mean, I hope not. But
okay, Sandoval though, right?
Okay, yeah, the real
Belle
of the Ball. I get it. I get this whole Tom Sandoval thing. He brings me so much joy. Okay, so there is this challenge. This challenge that they have to do. It's really bizarre, and they've done things like this in other seasons. So there's like a team back at the castle, and their job is to hear a song played backwards from someone singing it at this remote camp. So at the remote camp, they find these dolls, and the dolls hum a tune of a nursery rhyme, but they're humming it backwards. And so it would be like you finding a doll, it's humming something familiar backwards, but you can't name it. I have to listen, or you have to listen, hum it to me over like a gramophone, then it plays it backwards, and then it's like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Well, Tom Sandoval, since he is a musical genius, he's a trained musician.
He's the only one with musical knowledge, he keeps saying.
Okay, walk me through what he thinks he's doing, and is he good at it?
Oh, well, I didn't really know what was going on in this challenge because, like, I can never really follow these things.
Doesn't matter because Tom Sandoval's making a fool of himself, and it's amazing.
I mean, they were also really, this is like an editor's dream here because he just looks, and it's just like the way they were editing it. And like, I'm sure that it probably wasn't as much of a mess when he's like humming stuff, but they're also putting in background music that is out of time and key with what he's singing. So it's making it more chaotic. I feel like if he had any musical training, wouldn't you just listen to the song and then mark it in your head in solfege and then just reverse it? Like
mark it in my head. What? You just used a word I've never heard of.
Solfege, like do re mi fa sol la ti do, or like notate it in your head. No, but like if you had musical training, you could do. If I sang this for you, do re mi, you could reverse that, couldn't you? Could you? No.
Mi re do.
There you go. See. Yeah. He should have done that as well.
Okay, but what I loved that he was doing was he was picking up the dolls, and oh my god, I was howling. I might have had an edible too, which just put me over the edge. But it's what he's doing. He's putting the doll close to his head, like his ear, and then he's taking, as you can see here, his other finger and like putting it in his ear as if to be like a Barbra Streisand, like, like he's keeping it in his head. He's hearing it and he's keeping it inside his ears with his hands. And he's running back and forth, and people are calling him. He's like, no, I can do it, you guys.
He also looks so disheveled.
Oh, he's sweating. He's going back and forth.
But he's not doing anything active. I know that stress can make you sweat and he's in withdrawal. But I mean,
it brought me so much, even if you don't watch the show, just fast forward to the latest episode. It's kind of towards what, like middle end-ish.
Yes, middle-y. But my favorite part is that because Tom Sandoval, like Cody, is a huge narcissist, even though Dr. Drew has said that both of them are not narcissists. Well, actually, I don't know if Dr. Drew's ever commented on Cody. I'm sure he would love Cody, though.
I think Ryan's a good guy. You should give him another chance.
I think you really kind of did him dirty there.
Yeah.
The fact that they have edited in all the people like on like the gramophone side being like he's a terrible singer. Like oh my God, is Tom sing? Tom's a really bad singer. That's the part that I love because I know that is going to fucking
like you got it.
Yeah, when he watches it back, it's gonna hurt his fucking ego.
And it's this dumb look on his face. Like he's always just got like his eyes are darting around, and he is a complete jingle nuts. Like he trips his way into the correct solution of things or the correct opinion or assessment, but
yeah,
he doesn't get there the correct way.
Yeah, no, he's an idiot, and he's a total he's just also just a ridiculous person. He's so like unintelligent, yes. And he just very and if he's the kind of person in music and like theater that I can't stand because they take it too seriously. Like they just take it so seriously.
Yeah,
he would be insufferable.
Yeah, and then also at one point he like goes to this giant, it's like a lion or something, almost like what they have outside museums, you know, like I'm thinking the Art Institute of Chicago, and he's like, just give me some wisdom or something. God, oh! Like he's like trying to look really, you know, like a deep thinker, and he's really gonna call to his higher power for this challenge.
I'm so sure, like the whole thing with him and Ariana Maddox, like the girl that he cheated on in Vanderpump, she was with him 10 years, and it really is like she is very intelligent, like highly intelligent, and it's very like I think that it was like hot when they got together, and then they just kind of you're together with someone so long that you do kind of fall in love, and then this is just kind of it. But I can imagine that. And then there's all this discussion on like, well, she probably did nothing wrong, but I feel like she probably was a huge bitch to him toward the end, because how can this be your person? And like, how can you have any respect for this, for your partner? So I'm sure that she was probably especially toward the end, like, don't touch me.
Yeah. Oh, got the major ick.
Yeah.
Oh, I can think about that. I'm getting on TikTok
for you.
Are you getting on TikTok the new thing that's women taking videos of their boyfriends or their partners, and they say, "This is my emergency contact."
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, men doing something stupid, like sticking their butt out, or they're trying to like hopscotch or something stupid. And I'm like, in my mind, I was thinking Tom Sandoval's face any time of day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he's
not knowing what to do.
Remember me and Justine drove when we met him. We bought tickets to go meet him.
I know, and now I totally get it. Like, I just want to know what he would say. You know,
he was like super polite. Schwartz was like wasted beyond belief. I know for a fact I have never been that as wasted as he was there, and it was just like a Thursday night.
Oof. I love everyone in the comments is like a roll call, like, okay, where is everyone? I love it.
I feel like we got a good number in here. I feel real nice.
Ever. Hey, just to follow up on last week's big talk about
everyone else is watching this too.
I know, apparently
kids, I feel.
Yeah, more people are watching this than I thought, but it ended. Do you want to take a wild guess between these three people? I couldn't tell you their names because that's one of the faults of the game, is that like you don't really get invested in anyone. It's kind of weird. Just take a guess.
I'm gonna assume the black person won over two straight
people.
No.
No. Actually, the guy on the far right. There's
the gray hair.
So we're down to three. The guy with the gray hair. So we're down to the three. the guy with the hat, and I think her name in the middle is T or Twana or something, and she's like a American gladiator in training or something, and then the dude on the right. Well, come to find out, one of the last challenges is, will you accept, like, you could take $1 million right now, or you could go to the final two
I'll take the million.
for 10 million. Yeah, well, that's what the guy with the hat did. And I was like, yeah, that's what I would do too. So
For
guy with the hat,
guaranteed million.
that's what I thought too. So guy with the hat took the $1 million, and then between the two people, the dude with the gray hair ended up winning. And his whole story is like, he's got 2 young sons. The youngest son has some sort of like a brain disorder where his body doesn't create or metabolize creatine or something, and there's no treatment or cure for it. So that's what he's going to spend it on. So you're like, oh, yay, this guy's going to do it. But then oddly, at the end, it was him, his wife, and the other son who is healthy, like who does not have the disorder or whatever, which is like totally fine. I get it. It was probably very overwhelming, but I'm like, oh, kind of awkward. Like your whole thing is like, I'm gonna find a cure for this little boy of mine, and he wasn't there to enjoy it. But so that's over. Weeks and weeks of following up on it to tell you he won, and I couldn't tell you his name.
Oh, well, I didn't even know that show existed until you said it last week. So there you go.
Well, you're not missing anything. So can we get into, do you want to talk about Love is Blind first, or some Doughboys Chuck E. Cheese? Because I know everyone's been like, we talked about it at the beginning, and everyone's like, oh my God.
Boys. Bring it back to the boys.
Right. Okay, let's do
All right. Hang on, let me write down this timestamp. Okay, guys, Doughboys this is like such an epic thing, because my favorite episode, where's the thing I thought you were gonna put up?
Oh,
here it is. I found it. Oh God. Yes.
There he is.
My favorite episode of Doughboys, like always, that I would say, like one of my top 10 episodes, is Chuck E. Cheese, when they did it like 10 years ago. It's like such a funny episode, and they were just like talking about like how bad the smell was and how it smelled like diapers in there, and they're like we were expecting our pizza to come out with just a dirty diaper on top. So it was just like always one of my favorite things. But then they announced that Griffin Newman, do you know who Griffin Newman is? He's one of the hosts of Blank Check.
No.
Have you heard of Blank Check?
Yes.
Okay, so he's one of those hosts. Anyway, whenever he comes on, you know it's going to be a long ass episode. So this was, I will say, if you want to like just jump in on Doughboys, this is a good episode to listen to. It's like 3.5 hours long. It's like one of our lives.
Okay.
And then in the middle of like toward the end of the episode, they were like talking, they're like, oh, the handbook guys are outside like glaring at us. And it turned out that Griffin was supposed to go and do another episode with Hollywood Handbook right after this. So he was in the studio for like 6 hours.
Oops.
Anyway, check this out, because they went back to Chuck E. Cheese 10 years later with Griffin, and they said that like they would have welcomed a diaper smell. Mitch was like, I felt like he's like, after I ate that food, like, I just felt like I should shit my pants. And Griffin's like, if you had shat your pants, I would have like stood next to you like you were an air freshener, because that's like how bad it smelled in there. And like I was just really impressed with the episode. It's so funny. So if you want to jump in on Doughboys, maybe give this one a chance. There's a lot of good inside jokes too.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Chuck E. Cheese.
They said that it's really gone downhill, and that it's disgusting.
Was it ever uphill?
Yeah.
It was ever uphill.
They all have memories like we do. Like we're all the same age. But it was good, right? When we were kids?
I don't know. I think I only went to Showbiz Pizza like once or twice.
Oh. But you never went to like a kid's birthday party or something?
I think I went once or twice with my kids to a birthday party that they attended. But I told my kids when they were very little that we never got pre-approved to go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that's why. Well, I didn't know that. Well, I can't believe that it's still like running at this point. And like they don't have the band there. You're like watching stuff on screens. And just do you remember
that movie we watched about Showbiz Pizza? There was a documentary we watched that like talked about the arc into Chuck E. Right?
Yeah. Well, they don't do that anymore. But in the middle of the restaurant, there was just like an animatronic Chucky from like the 80s that was just standing there, just like moving their head around and just like walking and on, like zoning in on things, and then like and it just did that the whole time, not talking, just like clocking shit throughout the room.
No, Chucky looks, his mouth in this photo looks a little
well, if you listen to the episode, Weiger goes into all of the, you know, history and the backstory of when they changed the graphics of Chucky.
Wow, that sounds great.
Yeah, I know you're gonna listen. Let's get into Love is Blind.
Okay, yes.
This is your thing.
Okay, I am so pumped about this. Okay, so Love is Blind as it is. You and I are always going to watch it. Do Vanessa and Nick make a fool of themselves every season? Of course they do. We dislike Vanessa more and more. She did get a little work done. I thought Vanessa looked better than she has in other shows, or maybe she styled better, or makeup better, something. So that's a plus. This season takes place in Minnesota, Amanda.
Oh,
Minneapolis.
Okay.
And you can tell. As a gal,
did you watch all of the episodes? Because I watched 2.
I watched all 6. Sure did.
Oh my God.
They are still in the pods. Episode 6. We have not left, and not everyone has even met each other yet. We are still in the pods.
So I saw that on TikTok today, and I was like, maybe I won't even, because that really discouraged me from wanting to keep going.
Okay, so we were talking about this last night, that every season of Love is Blind, we always say, oh, okay, the first 2 episodes, like, skip them because they're still in the pods. You don't really know anyone, so you're not really paying attention to what they're talking to or talking about. I don't know what to say. Is somehow 6 episodes in, I kept watching it. The thing with these people is that, number one, all the guys look the exact same. You cannot tell me any of them are not brothers, you know, like in the wolf pack or whatever.
None of them have made impressions on me except the one guy that immediately started negging all the girls, and I hated him. Oh, the one girl came in and she's like, I'm 30.
Dave?
I'm not. You think I'm remembering men's names?
The one who was like, okay, so what's wrong with you?
Yes. And he was doing it to like all the women.
Because he's used to dating beautiful, hot women, and he just feels like that's not really, it's not really, he wants to be more, what did he say? More authentic or.
Yeah, and then he immediately said that he was white. He's like, well, I'm not supposed to say I'm white. Oh. And then another girl let it slip that she was white because she was saying about like how like she just got a spray tan.
Oh yes. Oh, I love how everyone's like, oh yeah, that's Dave. Ooh, his only pickup line. Yeah. So he sucks, and he ends up with the one who he should not have ended up with. She was like a former teacher. I don't even know what her name is, because honestly, all these girls kind of look the same too.
Dude, it's so cringy to watch these fucking basic ass people have conversations like, yeah, I was just God, what were they even talking about? Like, oh, I like this sports team. Oh my God, I do too. I took my little cousin.
It's we're the same person.
That is so crazy.
Oh my God. My grandma's name is Mary. Oh my God, my aunt's name is Mary. It's like we're the same person.
It's just a lot of oh my God. That's the whole thing is wow, so much in common because we both may have a mac and cheese recipe.
Okay, so now there's been like a whole bunch of stuff about some of the guys on here. There's a thing about a girl that doesn't get featured on the show named Amanda. I've been getting things all over my TikTok about this chick, that she is or was a manager at Victoria's Secret, and she made so many people's lives hell. I've come across 3 different women who were like, she was my boss. She was horrible. I have PTSD from her. She was awful. Couldn't wait to watch it. Lots of women who have dated some of these guys. One of them, okay, see, shoot, you haven't watched all the episodes. Do you know the guy who's calling himself a short king, Daniel?
No.
He's like, I'm 5'8", but like, I mean, there's nothing I can't do that everyone else can. It's like, well, don't lead with that either. Like that screams insecurity. Well, I won't spoil it, but Daniel may have seen some of the women that he's talked to on Instagram before.
See, I can't. This show is just not. Well, it never was really that great, but it's not really what it is getting already too like.
Okay, well, let me ask you this,
inauthentic.
because like I almost feel like an anti-feminist for not thinking this is that big of a deal, or maybe I don't know. So there's this guy Daniel, and he ends up getting engaged or like paired up with this. I think she's like no, she's not the oncology nurse. She does something else. She's got slight cankles, which like I really appreciate. I'm like,
I
okay,
never
she's
looked
like
at that.
has a real
There's
body.
a girl though that has like I think she's gotten a nose job because I noticed how like perfect her nose was. Like her
I
nose.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Like she's gorgeous, but she looks like she had a big nose. But I like if it is a nose job, I like it because she still kept a little bit of like volume.
She had red hair and bangs.
Maybe I just I was noticing the nose. I mean, like that's
she
how
was
I
also she was also into Dave. I think he would have totally regretted picking her. She would look much better without bangs, but I did love her nose. Okay, let's see. Me and Dash, I also saw a TikTok from a comedian. He said that every season of Love and Blind has one guy that has refused to go to therapy and uses the pods for that, then goes right back to his bullshit. Yeah, like that tracks. No, but I think, yeah, this Dave guy's crazy. I think he's gonna make the chick, oh God, is her name Matt? I can't remember her name, but he's gonna make her life a living hell. Then I think these guys like the Short King. There was another guy, I think his name was Alex, that he talked about that he was bullied in school because he was like chubby. I think these guys go in there, and because the women can't see them, maybe these women tend to be like a little more flirty and open than what these guys are used to. But instead, like what girls do is they're like, oh God, well, I'm going to get nervous because what if he thinks I'm fat? What if he thinks I'm ugly? We get more insecure. The men start eating this shit up and it goes to their head instantly. And that's what it did with like 3 of these guys. They got way too cocky. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is the first time that you've been flirting with women and you let it go to your head and you are just like riding high on it. And then they don't know how to do it. They just like tank. They don't know how to understand these women when the women are crying.
I think the guy, I actually, for some reason, I know that his TikTok name is Stinky Asher. I don't know why I know that, but like he does this bit where it's like when you talk a big game over text and then you show up and it's like the person is like a POV and she's like, hey, so you want to get to the bedroom? And he's like, oh, the bedroom. It's just very, very true.
Yeah. So there's this girl, and I didn't say anything like even out loud. Like Adam's watching it, Paige was watching a little bit because I'm like, I would be a huge asshole if I said this right now. But then I saw someone do a TikTok on it and I was like, okay, phew. The comments made me feel better. There's this chick named Madison.
Oh yeah.
Her guy calls her like Mads. She's an artist. And like she's a painter. She worked in like corporate and everything, but she quit her job just like follow her passion. And she starts talking about how she had a really rough childhood. Her mom was like an addict and she had to help raise her younger siblings and all this kind of stuff. But then later on in the episode or in one of the episodes, she says something like, oh yeah, when I was in high school, like I was super active. Like I did like totally like all volleyball, softball, or no, she said volleyball, tennis, soccer. And then she said like she did something where she like lived overseas and then she would like go to school in the morning and then like teach at night and all these things in my head. I'm like, that sounds like someone who had a privileged upbringing.
For sure, yeah.
Like I could not even afford to like have my kids in that many sports and like 3 kids and what. So anyway, other people have picked up on this too, and they're like, "Oh, weird. Like
Well,
you're
wait,
in
I will,
3
aren't all
expensive
those
club
sports
sports. That sounds like a study
aren't all those
abroad." That
sports pretty much free though? Other than tennis, you have to buy a racket.
well, in high
Which is
school, like I'm sure you got to get all the stuff for it, and maybe I'm totally
I feel like
wrong.
those are free though in high school, right? You can just join the volleyball or the
They're
football
not
team. It's
totally
free.
free here. Like you still gotta. Oh,
You have to
okay.
pay for stuff? I don't know. Kids.
Yeah. Okay. Here, Beaker Face. She met a couple who took her
Yeah,
to
this was
Lebanon to
weird
teach
too.
English. Yes. Like,
It seemed like she got brought over to be like their third.
well, that's what we talked about. We're like, okay, is this like a Farrah Abraham sort of thing? Like,
That's what
I'm
it sounded like.
working in the
Yeah.
Mid East
You'll teach
teaching
English.
English,
Yeah.
right? It just thank you. Okay, Cotton Candy says same thing. I'm from Indiana, and that's what we would call Delulu and spoiled. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's not as if Love is Blind is known for doing its due diligence and background checking, verifying things. But I do think it's going to get really messy, and I think it's just great because it's people from Minnesota. Like it's just normal people. I just love it. I think it's gonna be great.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll wait until the next thing and they dump the whole next set and I'll just jump to like them meeting. Because I don't need to know the backstories and shit.
No, I do think 6 episodes in the pod it's too much. It's way too much. But also the one couple that got engaged, the oncologist, what's her name? It's not Lauren. That's the dude who's with Dave. They get engaged. The guy looks like if Rami Malek and Brendan Fraser and some other person had a son, it would look like this guy. I want to say his name is Ben, maybe. He's all over TikTok. Like all over. There's tons of women that are like, "Oh, he's full of shit."
Okay. See, that's what I live
him.
for is that shit. Because even when I don't really watch Love is Blind, it's very much in my algorithm to come up about all the dirt and drama. So I'm always living for that. But I'll watch it.
Yeah. Sorry. One more thing about Madison's art. This one TikToker looked it up and she like took down her entire Instagram, and her art is not in like any sort of gallery or being sold or shown anywhere. So
maybe she has an escort.
I don't know. Yeah. Or people are like, or maybe she quit her job to do the show and like she wants to be an artist. But what better platform would you have to become a successful artist than to be like, hey, almost like what Janelle's doing with her shirts, right? Like sell prints for $10
both have
to make a
nails too. We didn't plan any of this.
You
got a thing on your finger.
Yeah, I am pretty sure
colors and stuff.
I do. Because it's an injury that doesn't seem to be going away. And now I'm just so stubborn. We're like, I won't go get it fixed. I'm just committed.
You have health insurance now, though.
I know. Well, now
I
feel like I can't go because what if they're going to be like, you waited 2 weeks to come in with this thing?
You can lie.
Well, I think it's like permanently fat and like curved now.
Oh yeah, you should get that checked out. What the hell? I would have gone, and I avoid doctors like the plague.
Okay, well, what happened was I was in a seat with my seatbelt over me, and my purse was over my coat, and I was trying to get out of my coat without having to undo everything. And so towards the end, I got really annoyed with myself, and I like pulled my arm out and it like bent my finger.
You're trying to like get all weird. You're doing like a Mr. Bean. Have you seen that Mr. Bean where he goes to the beach and he's trying to like take his pants off over his bathing suit?
That is precisely what I tried to do. And then I got frustrated with myself, and then I couldn't be like, and I broke my finger. Like, so I just had to be like, totally fine.
So now you're just walking around with that. Okay, that's cool. Hey.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Rosie O'Donnell when she got that staph infection on her finger. Do you remember that? Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, I thought you said Meadow Soprano. No, I don't remember that.
Anyway, so this is just my own stubbornness. This is just to remind me how stubborn I am. And also that I can change and take things off without having to take anything else off, just like Mr. Bean.
Right,
And it's how I changed in high school PE class.
Jacob thinks
it is possible to change your clothes without actually taking anything on or off.
I know. Because we're both never nudes.
Obviously, you think I went around like without every stitch of my clothing on in a high school locker room? Oh God. No,
do you feel
no
like,
one ever saw me.
I feel like 100% of the time I can reach behind my back and take off my bra with just my 3 fingers.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time. And
this
men always have an issue with it.
Yeah, like, this is a question.
Yes.
How do you put your bra on?
I don't really
put it out in the front.
Oh, no. I just put it on and then bloop.
Yeah, so do I. You put it on, you put your hands here, boop, boop. You'd be surprised, like the amount of people. First of all, if you ever go to a bra fitting place, there's a place that I used to go to, and they will, like smack your arm because they say like you're doing a lot of damage to your arms, like your joints and stuff, like reaching around like that.
There's so much damage in this time now.
Clasp it in the front and then scoot it all around.
I don't like that.
No.
Also, I feel like it's a sign that you're a serial killer if you tie your shoelaces with the two bunny ears and the tie it.
Who does bunny ears?
If I saw a guy doing that, I'd be like,
who does bunny ears?
My dad does bunny ears.
What?
Yeah, that's how he taught. Well, I mean, I think that's how you teach kids because it's easier, but he does.
Yeah. It is a lot more time consuming. And I don't like the feeling of shoelaces. It's like newspaper.
Yeah. I wear only slides anyway. What's next?
Okay.
Oh, the
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
Oh. It's gonna be so good.
I'm so excited that the energy is still exactly like Mike White is great. And I love that the show actually does win all the awards that it deserves. I'm just so impressed with it. They've set up all the characters wonderfully. Everyone is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a David Lynch feel, like a little realism. Especially, I think I loved season 2. Season 1, of course, was great, but season 2 I thought was just
I can't even put any order.
Well, we watched the last episode of season 2 right before this one, and it was like it really does get you when you see Tanya go overboard. It still gets you. We're like, holy shit! Like,
but I love it. Like, what a perfect ending is like. That is like hilarious. Like that's hilarious because you think that it's gonna be like this big victory, and it's like, oh. But it's so good. And I said to you that Patrick Schwarzenegger, who is in this, looks like Burke Ramsey. I'm not wrong. He's really got a Burke Ramsey quality about him.
Mm-hmm. Do we see what's his name on the show? Like the guy with the younger girl with the British teeth. No offense. Great Britain.
Who? Sorry, I'm looking into the comments and a lot of people do bunny ears. So sorry.
Yeah. So we're like, stop coming after me, okay?
I would never fuck a guy that does bunny ears. Like, no, it's fine. It's easier.
I would because
it's easier.
Tie my shoes, maybe. So the guy that's with the younger British woman.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's his name?
Was he in a previous season? Because I feel like he was in this show. Or what is he from that we've watched recently?
We haven't watched, and he was in one episode of The Big Bang Theory. I looked this up. That maybe
I definitely don't know him from that.
I think he was in maybe I'm going to look it up right now. But I'll say when I say his name, everyone will recognize him. He's been in
and that girl. I was like, okay, is this someone that we should know? Is this Lily Rose Depp or something? You know,
I don't really know anyone
with the teeth. That's a very certain character you can.
She looks like the girl that plays Love on You.
I could see that.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's a very bold choice for her to keep her mouth like that.
His name is Walton Goggins.
Goggins.
And he was in The Shield, Justifies, Righteous Gemstones. That must be what we watched.
Yes, that has to be it.
Fallout.
Well, he looks the exact same.
Stuff.
I'm excited to see where it goes this season. Yep, there he is. He looks much younger there.
He's playing a guy in the show that's just like pissed off all the time. And I'm like, this is like a walk through most of my relationships.
Oh, I was just going to say like a man who's just not fulfilled by this hot, gorgeous woman who's extremely patient with him.
Yes.
How about our family of 5 with Burke Ramsey as the older brother? Yikes.
And Parker Posey.
What is going on with this family? Okay, is this supposed to be like an incest thing?
Okay, so I'm getting an incest thing. I'm also getting that the mom is possibly dying. She terminal or something. There's like an air of like that she's like dying.
I didn't look at it that way. Oh, that is going to be really good.
Well, maybe not.
Oh, that guy is Uncle Baby Billy.
Is that right? Gemstones?
Yeah, that must be Jennifer Nettles' sibling. Remember they get in a fight over like the land or something?
You held a gun to my head and told me to describe one plot point in that show. I cannot tell you. John Goodman.
Okay. We're talking about White Lotus, Molly. Debuted last night. I got really excited because when I pulled up the IMDb to figure out this character's name, it had the first 8 episodes and it said February 16th or whatever release. And I was like, oh my God, the whole season. And then no, only 1 episode. I
like that though. It'll give us something to talk about every week. Oh, you know what else I didn't put on the list for this week because it sucked was Teen Mom also aired this week. Did you watch it?
Did I watch it? That's not the one we're on.
It's just this. Okay. We don't, is this Leah wheelchair thing going to go on through the whole fucking
then I did watch it. Yes. Yeah. Little Allie doesn't want to go in the wheelchair because you've never made her sit in it before, but let's have her go in it her first week of high school.
Right. But then it has like conversation between Corey and Leah, and Corey's like, maybe we should have actually made her move the wheelchair, but I guess whatever. I guess now we know. Lesson learned. I'm like, yeah, lesson learned.
Yeah.
This is what everyone told you was going to happen for years.
Yeah.
But the other thing that happened is Mackenzie's son. What's he? He's got like some weird name, right?
Gannon
is like going to a dance with a girl, and the whole fucking episode is Mackenzie being like, and I'm like, oh my God, I would kill you if you were my mother.
Don't do that. Don't.
And then the whole next episode is that, and he's like, yeah, she's nice. Like, we just play video games and stuff. And it's like, leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah. Yeah, don't push it. Do not push it.
Anyway,
interesting that she teases that way. That's almost like what Leah Messer's mom did. That's boring on Leah Messer's mom being like, oh yeah, you get him real good in that room alone and lose your virginity.
You better lose your virginity right now while I'm here. Do you want to move on to the show that we watched and maybe a couple other people out there? It's been a whole weekend of SNL.
It is all over the place. Okay, so first of all, it is, like on Peacock, I was getting confused what is what, because there's like a 50th anniversary homecoming concert.
Okay, so let's talk about that first. Yes. Now, I don't really like music, so I was like, I guess I'll have this on. And again, as we know, I'm entering perimenopause, so I was pretty emotional. I cried so many times, and I was like, this was solid, smooth. Even if you don't need to know SNL or care about SNL, but like every performance. Did you watch it?
Honestly, I'll be honest. I made it through the concert. I made it through until who was that? Eddie Vedder started singing.
Yes, no, I loved that.
It was maybe like the first or second number, and then I was like, okay, and I'm out. I couldn't do it.
Oh, that's surprising. Well,
who else is on it? Just tell me.
Okay, I have a whole bunch. So we started out with Jimmy Fallon.
I thought this was fine, but it went too long.
It was fine. I was like, all right, it makes sense. They're honoring this. And he's like, fine. He's fine. Joan said that too. He's like, I just hate Jimmy Fallon, but like, I guess it was like good. I mean, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miley Cyrus, this was weird because she was a Brandy Howard? No, not Brandy Howard.
No.
Someone Howard. Let me know in the comments. I never heard of this
Brittany
Howard.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I think she's from Alabama Shakes. She's really, really good.
They sang a Crazy Little Thing Called Love, which was an interesting choice because it was just really low. It's just not an exciting song. I feel like it was a really strange choice.
Well, she also sang I Can Buy Myself Flowers.
Right.
And then bullied the audience into standing up and dancing because only her mom was the one standing up in the audience.
People said that they're happy that she did that because then from then on, everyone kind of like calmed down and then the audience was very raucous after that. So people credit her with making the concert good. Then I
think she's fine. I don't hate Miley Cyrus, but I don't love her. Like,
no, I'm fine with her too. She doesn't bother me in any way. I think she's very talented. Bill Murray, I cannot stand Bill Murray. Like,
I know you don't like him, so I'm interested to see what
he was so good in this concert. I loved it, and he was my favorite part of the actual anniversary special. Which, when I say that this concert was like one of the best things I've ever sat through, I loved it. I loved every act. I cried. The anniversary special was like hot, stinking garbage. I didn't
finish watching it.
Okay, well, you should though, because it does get better. But I do want to just kind of focus on the concert here. Here's a couple highlights here. So Bill Murray did this with I don't know what these people. It wasn't. Sorry. Let's regroup here. It's just the three women here: Anna Gasteyer, Maya Rudolph, and Cecily Strong, who's pregnant. They sang that song that's like do, 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 do. I don't know what the words are, but it was wonderful. The three ladies were singing tight harmonies. Anna Gasteyer was all over both days of this.
Yeah.
On that note, I kind of was over like. This concert was so perfect. I didn't need to see any of these people again in the anniversary because I almost sullied it a bit. But Anna Gasteyer was like the star. She did so much shit. She like dressed up as Martha Stewart and introduced Snoop Dogg, blah, blah, blah. But this was beautiful. I was just really impressed with the harmonies and how beautiful they all sounded. It was great. And Bill Murray was not obnoxious to me. I loved it. Backstreet Boys comes on. I did not know that when they sung You Are My Fire. No, Brian, did you know that he has like some disease that like makes him, I don't know, I don't think it's the same thing Celine Dion has, but like he's got something that makes his voice warbly now.
Yeah, I did hear that. Or I read that. Well, his son was on some show that I had talked about months ago. It's on maybe Prime or Netflix. It's really hidden away, but it's like, My Parent is Famous or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And his son was insufferable. Like, so Dad and I were basically just, on the road my whole childhood touring with Backstreet. It's like, you were 4, you fucking loser. Your dad was in the Backstreet Boys, not you. So if you have a child that turns out like that, I can only imagine.
Okay, well, I felt bad for him. And then it actually kind of brought the audience together because I think the audience was like really rooting for him. And everyone, I also think that like the director of this show or whoever organized this is definitely a millennial because everything spoke to me. And like even there were throwbacks, like the B-52s here. I loved this. I feel like I just missed the B-52s. Like I'm not the age range to have really listened to that, but I'm really loving it. Like I love their vibe and how like kind of just silly and weird they are. Like I think I really would have loved this if I was a little bit older in the 80s.
Okay.
But Backstreet Boys at one point too, Brian was in the audience and he was like, help me. Like at one point he was like, just help me out because his voice is really shaky. But he like shoved the mic in Jerry Seinfeld's face and made him sing like 2 entire like lines. And it was, wow. Anytime you can make Jerry more uncomfortable is fine.
There was one point during the special last night when they went to someone who was sitting in front of Jerry and Jessica Seinfeld, and you could see it was like, basically like Alec Baldwin's wife, Jessica Seinfeld. You see like this much of her in the background, and also you just see her going like,
I think I remember that actually and noticing that.
Yeah, I'm like, we see you, Jess. We see you trying to scoot down. Now the exact opposite would be you and I. We'd be like, oh God, I'm on camera. Like,
yeah. Oh no.
You just see us be like, Okay.
Here's some other notable things. So I saw TikToks of people who are not millennials saying like this wasn't funny, and it was Anna Gasteyer and Will Ferrell doing like Bobby Mohan, like the culps, the singing teachers. And people like, I can see how maybe that wasn't funny if you didn't grow up with it, but like then millennials in the comments were like, this is iconic, like this is amazing that they did this, and it was good. So I loved that. Cher was there, loved this. Robin and David Byrne. He's the one that I said gave me David Byrne's energy. Remember when we did our Mulholland Drive episode? They performed. Every Nirvana was in there. And oh God, who was the front singer? Post Malone, and it was amazing. You should like
I will watch the concert then. Okay.
Oh my God, really, honestly, every act was solid. Like and they weren't trying to make it funny, really. They were just like, here's some great throwbacks to SNL and just some really great artists who like you just like forget how talented all these people were. So I guess now we can move on to the actual anniversary special. All right.
Okay.
Now, did you watch the 40th anniversary 10 years ago? Because I had it on TV. I watched it a million times, and it begins with Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon doing like that big opening number, and it was amazing. I was so impressed.
I'm sure I probably watched it. I'm sure.
By the way, Justin Timberlake was noticeably not in this concert. Oh God, yes, I'm glad I remember this. I typed into Reddit like, why was Justin Timberlake there? Because it seemed like there were a lot of things that were maybe supposed to have Justin there that they had to kind of replace them with other people. And like this dick in a box. This is the other thing I forgot to say. This was the best part. If nothing else, watch this, because they did a whole like Lonely Island medley. We started with Lady Gaga and Andy Samberg singing "Dick in a Box."
I like that.
Out and they were singing Lazy Sunday, and Chris Parnell. Everyone's like loving Chris Parnell with the gray hair. He's just like,
he is lovable.
I would get with him. But just I typed into it like, why was Justin Timberlake not there? And that was like a Reddit post. Justin Timberlake not appearing at SNL 50. And so the winning of these comments, somebody in the comment, all three different people, somebody wrote, it would interfere with the tour. And then another person wrote what tour? And then a third person wrote the world tour. And I was like, yes, this is why I love comment section. Okay.
Hey, Beaker Face is bringing up a great point just in time for Joan to join the chat. What about Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively in the audience?
Oh, I didn't really notice them or care about them. Did they make an impression on you? I didn't really care.
Yeah, I've been living this thing for weeks.
Oh, tell me.
Of course I fucking noticed.
Oh, what happened?
Well, Ryan Reynolds stands up during the opening monologue to ask a question.
Oh.
Did you miss this totally?
Yeah, it's a 3-hour long thing, so I was kind of walking around.
Well, Ryan Reynolds, I don't think he's looking too good. He looks like he's been maybe staying up late, maybe finding some
drinkies.
Yeah, drinks and food to talk to about his feelings, which I completely understand. Can't fault him there. And Blake was sitting right next to him, and all she did was just like, just stare at him. And then behind them,
last minute, like, oh, we need a public, we need to get out there.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I think that Ryan Reynolds is stupid enough to believe like, oh, I can get everyone else back on my side because they'll see how funny and entertaining I am when I go on SNL. I'm just like these funny guys here.
Is Robin's crush?
And people are like, yeah, too soon. No.
Sorry, you were saying
no one really laughed.
Behind
behind them, Kevin Costner was sitting.
Oh, he was looking good.
And I'm sure you'll see it on TikTok. He's just sitting there like not laughing. He's everyone. And yeah, Ryan looked old. He looked like he put on weight. Again, I mean, he's probably like anorexic man, right? But he's just not looking his normal self. And Blake, as Molly's saying, huge smile on her face, just like just staring at him, pretending like everything's fine.
Yeah.
And that is so freaking awkward for tons of different reasons. Number one, Colin Jost actually made a crack at them on Pop Culture Jeopardy that I talked about on a past episode. And then and then at this event are Scarlett Johansson not only there to like support her husband, but
she's in it.
Perform, yes.
Twice.
And her ex-husband is Ryan Reynolds, who is out there with his horrible wife, who he cheated on Scarlett Johansson with, and they got there. It's just so many levels of like, oh my God. But man, like karma really does just have a way of sometimes finding its way back to you, because can you imagine Scarlett and Colin watching the audience reaction and just hear them bomb so badly? Has got to be amazing. And there's footage of Blake on the, what do they call it? The black carpet. And she was being overly kind and accommodating to photographers. Like some assistant came over and she's like, oh, of course. Like,
so it was like the Wicked press tour.
Yeah, we saw you and everyone is on to you. And I love it for them. I love it.
Well, let's go through. Well, speaking of Scarlett Johansson and speaking of how people in the audience weren't laughing, it started all the way back here. Oh, let me say before anything, it seemed like they did a lot of musical numbers in this thing.
Yes.
Were they using tracks or something? They have a live band because they were doing like this Defying Gravity thing at one point, and they were clearly using a track because they got off with the track. So, but it happened several times here where like if the band was playing live, they would be vamping, but there were several times where like they were obviously using a track, so you couldn't vamp, and people were like fucking like jumping all over the place here. But anyway, let's start out with this. The Kristen Wiig small hands things. I always kind of hate this thing. It freaks me out.
Yeah, me too.
But it was Anna Gasteyer, which again, okay, we've seen you at this point.
Yeah.
She was in a few more times too after this. Kim Kardashian, who I was actually impressed. It seemed like she took it very seriously. She didn't break. She was like, she looks great up there. Scarlett Johansson. Here's an example of like where like things just really got off with the music a lot.
Yeah.
It was fine. The biggest travesty of the night though, for me, and it was like the first thing in, was Black Jeopardy, which is one of my favorite sketches. The Tom Hanks Black Jeopardy. I could speak along with it. I've seen it so many times. And this was so uncomfortable. It was such a disaster. All three of these people shown here, Tracy Morgan, who has a brain injury, so I can't even fault him for it. Leslie Jones, who famously is bad at reading cue cards, and Eddie Murphy, who seems like maybe he's really dusting off the old acting chops because you were like famously one of the best people on this show. Why can't you act anymore? Like, why can't you do this?
Because he was fine. I thought about the same thing too. I'm like,
I was very fine,
but if he committed, he would have been really good. Like, I think he really could have done a great impersonation, but he just phoned it in. I'm like,
there's a whole thing on the SNL 40 that there was a big thing like Eddie Murphy's coming back, and everyone was so excited because he was so pissed off about the David Spade shit, and he was like blackballing SNL. He was not going to talk about it. So when he was going to come back for SNL 40, everyone thought, oh, he's going to come in and do a sketch. And all he did was introduce Unact. And everyone's like, oh, that was weird. And now I guess he's just all in SNL and he's hosted now. And now he was in like 3 sketches last night. It was I don't know what dynamic is going on behind the scenes.
He needs to make money, I'm sure. Like,
I guess, but it was
prospects
really bad.
Are drying up.
So halfway through this, they had Tom Hanks come in as Doug, who's the character he played in the first Black Jeopardy. But the camera got fucked up, and it flashed over as he was entering, and then so it wasn't a surprise when Doug came on. Chris Rock came out at some point it was just a hodgepodge, and you could feel the audience. Who this was literally everyone in the audience has worked at SNL or has hosted. And you lost the audience. The audience didn't even seem like they weren't like it was bombing. The audience seemed offended and angry, which is how I was feeling. Because the Doug thing happened, and then it was like, oh, Tom Hanks is there. By this point, the audience was already fucking done with it. They were not laughing. They weren't even giving sympathy laughs. Because in the part that I told you, I grabbed my forehead and I went, oh, like, oh, that there's a bit where Keenan comes out and he's like, I just want to shake your hand, Doug. And then Tom Hanks does like, oh, no, don't touch me thing, which was literally a joke pulled from the first Black Jeopardy. So it's like, what are you doing? Everyone in this audience knows that sketch. It was just lazy and offensive to me.
Yeah.
A mess.
Well, I think they were just like throwing people in there that they wanted, like Kim Kardashian. I agree. John said the same thing. Krista, like, do we need her there? She's not that great. Comedic timing,
no,
not
she's
that
not
great
relevant either. Is she?
No.
Like,
and you have to think
in the 41, and she was in like a bunch of sketches, I think.
Well, you have to think everyone in that audience who was not in sketches or not acknowledged, they're going to not laugh because they're like, well, why is Eddie Murphy up there? This isn't even funny. I should be up there.
It was also announced beforehand with the Justin Timberlake thing, I think, was that also Bill Hader and Dan Aykroyd were announced as politely declining the invite. So I'm interested in that too, because Bill Hader is one of my favorite SNL people of all time.
Marsha has an interesting comment. I'm not crazy about Meryl Streep, but she was hilarious on the Alien skit.
I can't watch that sketch. Every time I see that sketch come up, I'm like, I can't. It's not funny. They shouldn't.
I don't know why I don't like that one either.
You know why I hate it? Because it was funny the first time, and now every time they do it, you have to break. The joke is that they're breaking character, and I don't find that funny. That's why.
That's why. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. You go.
We're probably going to say the same thing. That's why they kept trying to do Debbie Downer throughout the years, and it never worked after that. But it actually did work on this, I thought.
I was going to say that's why I don't often find Leslie Jones that funny, because she breaks a lot. And I'm like, but it's not funny every time you break. It's funny when people break who never break.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. So after the Black Jeopardy thing, it went straight into this, which was this made me feel a little more comfortable. We got Emma Stone introducing, which I always love Emma Stone's energy and everything. I think she's solid. I think she could be in the cast. She introduced Sally O'Malley, which was actually really cute because Sally O'Malley's 50 and SNL is 50. And I think Molly Shannon's probably 50. So it was kind of
she's probably more than 50, but yeah, I love her. She's so talented.
But she can still kick and better than I ever could when I was 16 watching this. So this got a little better. Then we went into this fucking Domingo thing, which now in one season, I have seen this bit 3 times now.
I don't think it's that funny. I didn't think it was funny the first time.
I thought it was funny the first time because I think Ariana Grande made it funny. But then everyone's obsessed with the Domingo part of it. It's not. I don't think it's that funny.
That's the only character I feel like that guy does. Marcello, whatever his name is. That's all he does is that one.
I feel like I've seen some of his stand-up and he is really funny, but I think now they've pigeonholed him into like, you're going to be doing all these kind of Cuban characters, which is fine because they never really had that kind of representation before. So I'm glad they have him.
Okay, but who's the dude in the front that's on one knee, who's like the fiance husband in all of these sketches?
Andrew Dismukes. Andrew Dismukes.
You
don't like him? I like him.
I feel like he's just trying to be John Mulaney, which, by the way, we saw John Mulaney and his wife Olivia Munn.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Too. Get her out of here. Also, I don't generally like to comment on people's plastic surgery, but like, I feel like I just think he looked better before. I don't like that he's like, it seems like he's trying to make himself more masculine, but it also kind of makes him relatable because obviously he has insecurities like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Now here's where things started going uphill finally was during Update. You got like some of your regular characters. You got Drunk Uncle, the girl you don't want to be with at a party, which is pretty funny because she's pregnant during this.
Yeah.
So, then Bill Murray showed up, did a top 10 list, killed it.
I was going to say it.
Funny.
Oh, I'm so glad because I know that you don't always enjoy him.
That was the one thing I got out of this whole weekend is I'm like, I think I like Bill Murray.
Good. Nat, I'm glad you brought this up. It says, I wish Lindsay Lohan was there. Great. She was so funny. I agree. I think whether it's the writing team or whether it's Lindsay Lohan, her comedic timing on SNL has always been really good.
She's like Emma Stone. They're very so talented. I have that episode on tape. Like VHS tape taped on the TV with commercials.
Hmm.
Okay, so then we have after that we got into this.
Yes, Joan. John picked up that Bad Bunny and Molly Shannon were grinding, and when they went to commercial break, they kept going with it.
I hope they fucked. Actually, she's married.
But she was really enjoying it. And then when they like cut away to commercial break, they turned back toward each other, and she was like, "Yes."
Have you ever I love watching Molly Shannon tell a story because she sells every story because she's so excited about like whatever story she's telling. You're into it. I love her. Then we do the sketch, which again, this was fun. I think this sketch can be funny. It was funny with like the bodega bathroom. I thought that was funny. Can we get away from the Les Mis medleys for
yes? I knew. I was like, oh god,
it's the exact same thing though. They use One Day More. So many musicals have medleys like that. West Side Story, like Hamilton, like they just do. Well, Hamilton. Guess who showed up?
I knew. This is like shortly after this is where I left off, and I was like, I was like, okay, Amanda is just. I imagine Steam like you are the anger emoji from Inside Out.
Here's another issue with the track though, because Lynn got off on the track on like a song that he wrote.
Yes,
so I was like, irritated for him. Like, why are you?
And he was sporting a slick fade. He got like a new fade haircut, and he was really feeling himself
this year. So again, like Jody, I think that. Guys, if you want to watch this thing, maybe start at Update because it really does get better. Every sketch was pretty solid after that. Then Adam Sandler came out and gave a long story. He was just a song about SNL. They also played a kind of a film reel thing from the original cast of Belushi. It's like a black and white like thing where he's going and like talking about all the other cast members and how then he dances on their grave. That was really lovely to watch and very nostalgic and kind of heartbreaking. Then we had Bronx Beat, and this was really funny too. Like it was solid. If you can see in the background, I don't usually like Bronx Beat, but I loved them and they both seemed very comfortable. At the top, they were having major audio issues.
Yes.
At the time, I was like, ooh, their mics are clicking. They should probably bring in a boom mic. And then they did it. You can see it in this picture behind me here. They were trying to figure out where to put the boom, but the lady
that was off. It was off.
It was,
but
they got
they're
it
so lovely. They're so lovely.
I thought it was great. Then
we had he sue. Does he sue?
No, I got time for that. I'm not going to call you that. No, I'm not going to do that. Then we had Debbie Downer, which I was like, no, we're trying this. But they didn't try to make anyone laugh. It worked so well. I loved it. And she is just so great and committed. And I just really go watch the Debbie Downer thing because it was one of the best writings for a Debbie Downer sketch since the actual original one. Hilarious.
I love Rachel Dratch. She's just always up for it. Like I feel like she's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. And it's not in like a desperation way. She's like, yeah, I'm going to have fun with this. Whenever she would go on Billy on the Street, she was always game to like do these stupid, what would you call them? Little,
like the relay races.
Relay race. Yeah. Like all these like crazy things he would have her do. She'd always do it. And she plays some really like dorky, humbling characters, and she always does a great job.
And then at the end, it ended with Paul McCartney singing, doing Golden Slumbers, which brought the house down. I cried, and I downloaded on my Spotify playlist Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band because I used to like genuinely listen to those on a loop in college, and they're like really good.
Feels. Yes, and thank you. Krista is just confirming. Amanda, you look nothing like Rachel Dratch.
I can kind of see it though. And I kind of did in 9 to 5 when that was said about me.
I don't see it at all. However, Rachel Dratch's son looks just like Rachel Dratch.
You found a photo picture. I was like, this is Rachel Dratch and her son.
I mean, like she can't, her son was born looking like a 45-year-old Rachel Dratch.
Dratch. Yes. And that's it for Hot Topics. I'm like, did you have anything else? I know I kind of took over the SNL thing.
Yeah, I did. That's okay. 2 really quick things because then we got a lot of Brown Town too. First thing is this came up on my TikTok. I don't have any photo or anything. So this is like just starting today. And I'm only bringing it up because you and John had talked about this gal, not Sydney Sweeney, who I am 100% in agreement with Joan on Sydney Sweeney. And I am,
I like her in
it
the
just
White
makes me feel
Lotus.
so good. We're in the same.
She's really good in Euphoria, honestly. She's great in Euphoria.
Yeah, just listen to Pod in the City if you want to know John's opinion on Sydney Sweeney, because I could not agree with anything in my life more than that. But there's now this thing going around. Okay, so obviously we know Blake and Ryan.
I'm just gonna grab my water from the other room. Keep talking.
Yes. So now there's this guy. I don't know. What am I saying? Sweeney. Oh, Sydney Sweeney. Am I saying the right or wrong thing, Joan? Anyway, so Sarah Hyland is married to Wells of Bachelor in Paradise fame, whatever. And she's also on Broadway now as something.
Broadway in Little Shop as Audrey.
Okay.
And John are both incensed about it.
So, there's this guy named Jeff Dye, D-Y-E.
I hadn't heard of him until this, but this is also on me and John's list for Wednesday because we're going to rip him.
Okay. Well, apparently he's kind of calling Sarah out as Blake has been called out, that she was awful on set. And she was like, oh my God.
Not surprising. Does that surprise you in any way that she's difficult?
No, not at all. But this is going around and it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can see that happening. I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. But it also is like, okay, well, who the hell is Jeff Dye? Don't know you. So like, are you doing this just to be famous now? Or are we calling people out on their bad behavior? But I enjoy that little gossip because, it's just kind of nice. When
I love it. I love when people get called out, especially like your thing on Love is Blind. People were saying that they worked with someone at Victoria. I've worked with, especially in restaurants, I worked with some of the fucking most like nightmarish like bosses and managers where I'm like, how do you function as a person? Like, how do you how do you sleep at night? Particularly, but that's just your personality. Like Mary. Speaking of Mary.
Sorry, really quick. One really quick thing. Watch this. It is on Netflix. Apparently at some point I put it on our list between Amanda and I.
Oh,
and then I thought you put it.
I'm like,
but
no.
Maybe I did. I don't know what happened.
I went over to Drywall's house for Valentine's Day. Maybe it was Saturday. But and he had on this
drywall since 1980, Moab.
Getting down and dirty with that drywall. He had on like this I was like, what do you have on? And he's like, a Black Hawk Down documentary on Netflix. And then I looked at my Browntown list and it was like Black Hawk Down.
And I wrote all in caps. Yes, I was coming to, and I thought I was saying I was coming to say this, and I realize right now I have all in caps.
That's why you wrote
I was coming to ask.
Because then I was like, did I have was it recording and like voice to text while I was sitting there with this?
I don't know, but everyone needs to watch this documentary. It is on Netflix. This looks like nothing I would ever typically tune into because I'm like, Black Hawk Down. Okay, sounds kind of military-ish. I don't know what's going on. It was excellent. I think it's like 3 episodes. Don't really know military-ish stuff. Doesn't matter. Just freaking watch this documentary. You'll be blown away and you're going to wish that there was more parts/farts. Amanda, watch it. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry. My finger is injured. I'm just going to take it off so no one asks. And when I bang it on something, which I inevitably will,
blinding pain,
you can just start laughing at me.
Right.
Okay. Anyway. So yes, that's just like a PSA. Watch it. It's excellent. You don't need to know anything about like war or any of that kind of shit. All right. Now, is it time for the town that's brown?
Get into some brown town, baby.
Brown town. Everything's waiting for Pooh.
Oh, right. The ladies were out this week. It was Valentine's Day, so Christine had a fucking week-long ode to David Woolley. So let's start with Christine and get those out of the way.
Must we?
Yeah.
Must we. Yeah, she was really putting a lot of content out this week. Oh, sorry. I'll let you press first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
No, you go.
First of all, she was like, let me know if you want my recipes. I commented recipe below. She wrote right back to me and sent them to me. And then I was like, this isn't really that fun. So it was just, her hair looks really good in this picture though.
She does have great hair. She really does.
Okay. So this was posted on our Facebook group, but it's hilarious. It's a post from somebody who is like doing Plexus, and then Christine reposted it. But the comment section alone is worth going to because it's somebody named, but it just says, ready for day 2, down 7.5 pounds in one day. And then it's like, this girl is on fire. Wow. Go, 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 writes Christine on top of this post. And all the comments were like, either like, girl, no, you didn't, or she just took the biggest shit of her life.
Yeah, weighed yourself like with all your sweatshirts and stuff on.
Holding your dogs.
Right before took a huge shit. Maybe you're like dehydrated.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, now you're just 1 foot on the scale. This isn't something to be advertising that you lose 7.5 pounds in a day. I don't know about this.
But fine. Now we have, you put this one. I didn't see it, but was this something that you watched? Because I couldn't even imagine sitting through this. But
yeah, I did.
I watched like a video of, oh, this sounds awful. It says, Christine, it's her and David. We finally jumped on the we listen and we don't judge trend. But then David's at the end. Go ahead and move that if you can, please. I couldn't help it. I'm judging. Hashtag we listen and we don't judge. Hashtag but seriously, David. Hashtag I can't. All right, so tell me about this because I missed this completely.
Okay, well, I don't like this whole TikTok thing. You know what this is, right? Okay, so
you're asking for a fight, basically.
Yeah, you say we listen and we don't judge, and the person's like, I cleaned the toilet with your toothbrush when I was really upset with you, or like I wore your favorite outfit and you didn't. I
cheated on you with your best friend, like someone.
Yes. Okay, so they did this, and I just think it's so cheesy. There's just something about this, like, we listen and we don't judge. And it was something where he's like, when it starts to get a little noisy at parties and things, I go upstairs and I watch football.
Yeah.
And she's like, David, I love you. Doesn't matter to me. No. It's just as bad as you think it would be.
Who was saying this? It was reality cringe, which obviously has been the only thing in my ear because I hyperfixate. Makes a really good point often about like, I'm just nervous to see what happens to them in a year when they're out of the honeymoon phase and now it's real and now you're bored and you're just kind of existing together and he raises his voice at you for the first time. And now that is when the trauma that you haven't been dealing with in therapy is going to come out. All of the shit that Cody did to you. Like, I'm nervous too, because like, it's about to get to the point where now they just kind of have to settle. And it's like, this is it now. And like, I feel bad for her. You must have to walk on eggshells with her. I feel like I would have to walk on it. Because if you say one thing, she's going to twist it to all of her past trauma.
The only thing that may save them is that it seems like to a certain extent, I want to say enjoys instead of puts up with. It does seem like he kind of enjoys bringing Cody up or talking about him or bringing it into their Instagram stories or whatever it might be. They're taking photos and all that. In my experience, when you're in a new relationship and you have an ex who's still very much a part of your life because you share kids together, that's really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Because they are always around. Like in our circumstance, obviously, like I was doing, like anytime you have a legal thing going on, Christine has a legal thing going on with Cody.
Yeah.
He's going to be brought up a lot. Like a lot, you know? Like,
yeah.
In your everyday conversation because you're paying a lawyer that's like pulling this shit out. At some point, is he going to be like, I just can't, like,
It's a lot. I mean, I can't even
I mean, these
imagine.
are kind of things where Adam's like, okay, I've like hit my limit of like the Dave shit today. Like I can't. And it's not because I'm liking to talk about it, but it's like, guess what else fucking
That's what's
happened?
going on right
What else
now.
we found out? And that does, like, I'm sure David at a certain point has got to be like, I just like especially when he's got like Truly biting him and shit.
No, yeah, it's
And
a lot.
you bring both of them are bringing like heavy past stuff.
Heavy, and years long. That was
And
the only person Christine had ever been with, ever. Christine has nothing else to compare it to.
And she has like 20 kids between all these different wives.
Yeah.
Kristen, again, I can't imagine he'll be able to handle that energy every single day.
Right. So I agree with Reality Cringe that it's like, I'm nervous for when the fairy tale has to just kind of become, oh, now we're just kind of living.
Or the show does end. And he is just doing drywall since 1980. And she has got her Airbnbs in Moab. You know, like that's the real life shit.
Because that's your life now. Like when you are accustomed to being on a reality show from most of your adult life, like you don't know anything else. It would be weird to function now just as like, now it's just gone.
Well, and everyone knows everything about your life. Like think about David. Like at first when everyone's like, oh, we know you, take a picture. But now for the rest of your life, his kids' lives, like probably his grandkids' lives, they have an adjustment to go through. And I hope they make it through and it's great and they're super resilient. But
I hope that she just gives him grace if they do get into a fight. I hope that she can give him like he's allowed to be annoyed with you, and it doesn't mean that you're ugly. And this is all shit that I'm projecting because that is absolutely me. I walk away from a relationship the second someone even mildly irritates me. I'm out of there.
Yeah, or the opposite, where if like let's say, okay, I'll use if Adam's in a bad mood or if he's like cranky, upset, whatever, I'm like, oh my God, like, is everything okay? Like, what did I do? And he's like, you got to knock that shit off. Like, I'm not your ex. Yeah. I'm just having a bad day. I'm getting through this. This does not mean like for the whole rest of the day, there's going to be an energy in the room like a Cody would bring, like a Mary would bring, like my ex would bring. That isn't everyone. But I could see Christine thinking that. And it's almost worrisome because she, you know how you just said, like, she can't, like, can she get upset? Can she, bring up something that's going to make David upset? Well, she couldn't do it with Cody, right? Because of the show.
Oh.
But now is she going to have to do that same thing? Like, if they're in a bad place, you can't really be honest with it. And you can't be like totally open and honest. Like, yeah, we're actually going through a really hard time right now.
Yeah.
We love each other. We'll make it through. But like, we did everything really quickly. I don't think she can do that. Just like she couldn't be honest with Cody. I don't think any of them can.
I feel like Janelle would be fine going into a relationship because Janelle, as their conversation was in that last episode where Janelle's like, where Christine's like, I have dreams about Cody all the time. And Janelle's like, I just don't even think about him. I think that Janelle would be totally fine being in a relationship. I think that she does kind of move through life just like, yeah, here's the next thing I'm doing.
Yeah. Which is good. Well, Janelle can do that though, and Mary, because they don't have any kids that they have to share with Cody still for another 5-6 years. Thank God for that.
Janelle has dated before. Like Mary and Christine are both just so stunted at 19 that like
that's true.
Janelle's
been married before.
Mary dating Amos. Like I guess they did. He just wasn't around during filming, but like I would pay money to see that. Mary on a date with Amos.
On a date, period. What perfume do you think Mary wears?
Like more of a patchouli. Like a disgust.
I was going to say like a CK1 or like a Sunflowers Vanilla Fields.
Oh, maybe she smells good. I don't know. I smell bad in everything because my pheromones are all fucked up.
What's Christine? Okay. Christine is like
like bubble gum.
Sweet pea.
Yeah. Oh, I love sweet pea though.
Oh no, I do too, but I feel like she would do like the lotion, the body spray. Like that is her.
She uses lip smackers still. Dr. Pepper. So here, Christine had an ode to David here. Go ahead and take
some
that.
alcohol.
Take that down. Happy Valentine's Day, my love, at David Woolley. I'm so blessed to be your wife, and I'm so excited for our quiet moments, noisy parties, sweet celebrations, exciting travels, and intimate conversations. I love you. Hashtag Valentine's Day. Hashtags Happy Valentine's. Hashtag love of my life. I'm surprised she didn't put hashtag.
What are they in a box? What is that?
No, there's just like a bunch of pictures. Look at this picture. Oh my God. That Christine has a mirror. Is this in her house? It looks like it's in her house because it's a bed back there. Mirror with like decal on
Word
it.
art.
Says, and suddenly you were my everything and I was home. So there was that. There's a picture on this roll of David on her in front of, I don't know, San Francisco or something, or maybe overseas. And I just zoomed in on this thing on David's t-shirt. It says Salty Crew.
Salty Crew.
And risk takers.
You know that someone's a thrill seeker and a risk taker if they have a t-shirt of it saying so.
What's this? Oh, okay. So here, though, this is some tea possibly on that note. That I don't even know what the backstory is on this because I don't go on Reddit. But Christine posted a two what are these called? Page story that says, when I read that David and I are not happy, people be crazy. So okay. So the fact that
she's telling us we're crazy.
Okay, but it seems like it's bothering you a little bit, Ogre, because you posted about it, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
So that's why it makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. Okay, I'm cracking up over these comments. Connie saying, I hope we'll cover the Robin Dollygate rumors. Yeah, we talked about Robin and her dolls last week. I don't doubt any of it.
But people are saying like this is good and like this is like a perfect for a financial audit. And the fact that Robin privated her account, I'm still definitely following it and I love it. And I hope that it lights more of a fire under Janelle and Christina Mary's ass. Speaking of David's t-shirt, the Salty Crew.
Of the thrill seeker.
Let's move on to Mary and Jen. They have hosted this fucking video.
Okay. How many times are we going to the Eye of the Tiger, the two of these women walking into the grocery store?
I hated this so much.
No, we're not crazy. Like they've posted this exact same video several times, right?
Just a different kind of location. No, this is like a new one they made this week though. But they do use Eye of the Tiger a lot. By the way, we were demonetized last week, and I don't even know why. I even got it confirmed by an actual person, and they said no, demonetized. What did we do last week?
I don't know. Wait, you're telling me they haven't gone into a store and picked up salt like this before?
I don't know. Maybe this is a repost, but this is on their Salty Birches account. So this is new. So then they're in the grocery store to Eye of the Tiger because they're so tough and salty. And it's them picking up salt and buying it together while Eye of the Tiger plays.
Because they're salty birches.
But they're not salty because they were laughing at a dick. Oh, I thought of what they should have. A salty comment during that pottery class thing. Here's a salty comment. Oh, I've never seen one that big. That's salty because that's implying that Cody's dick is small. But all they did was giggle and keel over and wheeze. You're not salty. You're basic. But they did make this video, so go watch it. It's on there. It's on every account of theirs of Salty Birches, the variety show that they have started together.
Spoiler, DLO didn't laugh once. Also, pretty sure Mary and Jen walking in wearing a blouse and a cardigan is so scary.
Salty in here.
Okay.
Mary posted this. Do you want to go ahead and read that?
We all have issues because we all have a story, and no matter how much work you've done on yourself, we all snap back sometimes. So be easy on you. Growth is a dance, not
There's a weird sentence in there. Here's a sentence in here. And no matter how much work you've done on yourself is a sentence.
Period.
And also begins the You're not supposed to start a sentence with "and," but she did.
Growth is a dance, not a light switch.
Yeah. All right, Mary. Who are you telling?
I don't think it's that clever either.
No. Mary's teasing a new man.
Mm.
Okay, sure, girl.
Well, they both have the same overbite.
Jody's moving day. Hashtag new beginnings. Hashtag mystery man.
Well, not really.
Brandon 10
when you tag him, I don't think that's a mystery man. And also, isn't he gay? Isn't Brandon supposed to be gay?
He reads as gay, but I just feel like gay men would hang out with Mary more than like a straight man would. But
yeah.
Also they're in front of a U-Haul, so I guess she's moving. Weird. The B&B didn't work out as your place of residence, so I guess she's
this is so classic Mary, where she tries to like drop these little hints, you know, like, oh, moving day, new beginnings. Well, we'll tell you.
If this was her new boyfriend, I would be kind of impressed because he looks much younger. So I'd be like, oh my God.
People are saying it's her cousin.
Okay.
That's so
You're
awkward.
not salty. You're the opposite of salt.
That's a girl bringing her cousin to prom, being like, yeah, he's a college boy.
Mystery man.
So embarrassing.
Okay, now you really honed in on this one. I sent you the video, and then you discovered something.
Yeah. Well, Mary, very fitting, Jacob. Perfect timing to comment. You said she is really filtering that dead tooth. Well, that's not the only thing Mary's filtering. I mean, first of all, like, actually, if she did some sort of like teeth whitening, whatever she's using on this filter, like she looks great right here.
Yeah. She does.
She's filtered beyond belief, so much so. And I don't know if I took this or you took this, but whatever.
We both took the exact same picture in both.
Animal is in this photo. Their face is also.
Oh yeah,
it is filtered. It's photoshopped and filtered. It has no face. I'm so happy for those of you who are watching right now.
I zoomed in.
You cannot tell if that is a dog or a cat, and I am not exaggerating. Like, there's vaguely a nose on this animal and two eyes that have been blurred out. Okay, so I'm going to go to the photos here. So I saw this, and I was like, oh, God. And it's a video. She's moving around, and I saw something kind of moving. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, God, something's wrong with her hand. And then when you zoom in, okay, you can kind of see where natural wrinkles on one's arm or hand would show up.
She put glue on her hand, right?
Yes. And it's like wrinkling where it's dry, but it changes as she moves. So if you go and watch this, it looks like she has some sort of like skin creping disease where your skin loses elasticity and goes back and forth. I couldn't believe she posted that video with that outrageous. It's wild. What else? Anything else with Mary before we talk about our girl?
Our girl. And you'll always be my boo. Here's Janelle this week. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're a great gardener. That plant really should have tried harder.
I don't have a green thumb, but I do have a green t-shirt. Check out Janelle Says.
I don't even mean to match us to the background here, but I'm feeling very like Banff today, right?
Like we're Janelle in our teepee that she wants to live in.
Janelle. Okay, Janelle's on. Are y'all on Pinterest? And they are on Pinterest. Robin's favorite mode of social media. But guys, go follow her. And listen, I will support anything that not Mary really, but I'll support anything.
No, that Pinterest was still a thing. I thought like me and 4 other women were still doing it.
You have to wait 3 or 4 days before it lets you like on, right? If you like want to sign up for Pinterest, you have to, like there's like a waiting period. And every time I do that, by the time they send me the thing, I'm like, I don't want it anymore.
I don't know.
Janelle's posted a couple very Janelle-y posts though. She made some donuts this week, Jody.
Oh God. Oh my God. I love this.
Go ahead.
Okay, those of you who are listening, this would look like someone has used extreme zoom on Cheerios.
Oh, that is what it looks like. Yeah. Or bagels. It looks, I would think these are bagels.
Yeah. We see two very large looking Cheerios, like a bagel sized Cheerio, and then two smaller ones halfway covered by Janelle's typing. And it says, made big donuts last night with Evie. They turned out pretty good. This is my second try with baked donuts. The first try yielded something super dry that stuck to the pan. I think I'm still looking for a favored version.
No period on the end of that one. Period.
No.
No period.
And then whatever these things are. What?
Bad. Girl, dip the top in chocolate or something. They look more like a donut.
Baked donut. Okay. I
They
mean,
look dense.
I love donuts. Like I cannot turn a donut down. These
You turn.
I
these
don't
down.
know what she made these.
I love bagels
out of.
Well, the first
all you really have to do in a pinch, get your like Grand's dough and you just throw them in some hot oil. Boom.
Oh, really?
Roll them in some cinnamon, sugar, butter, and you got
God,
like.
that sounds so good. I'm gonna do that after this.
Yeah. Look it up. That's like what a lot of people do for their.
I don't want to record girl dinner. Oh, by the way, guys, can I talk about girl dinner really quickly? Our next girl dinner, which we're going to record after this, but I don't see it happening, is just we're going to just look at every episode, go through every episode of The Office, and pick the top, I don't know, 5, 10. We'll just rank the top 10 episodes. So guys, let us know in the comments here or stay afterward and leave it. Get that algorithm up because our algorithm is really down when the show's not actually airing. Let us know your favorite Office episode. And I think that we should just take the tier as like comparing everything to Office Party, right? Or not Office Party, Dinner Party.
Great. We're setting the stage.
Well, yeah. And we'll go from there. So let us know what you guys think are your favorite episodes of The Office. All right.
Exactly.
Janelle had some deer in her yard, Jody. Let's play a game of I Spy. Oh my
God. Okay.
You
take this one because I still don't know. I'm not for sure.
Really?
How many I see. Like I think I see
2.
One.
Oh no, there's the deer ass right there. Like right next to that deer, there's a deer ass right there. But then she did post a second one that I didn't pull, where it's like, let's do it. Let's try this a little bit. Oh, she posted a reel because you can see the deer moving. But she just wanted to take time out of her day to be like, oh, look at this.
Let's play a game of I Spy. And then it's this is shot from extreme distance that she zoomed in, cropped.
Like through a screen door, maybe.
It says, how many do you see?
Deer.
I think that's a deer.
Yeah, it's a deer, but then there's a deer ass right next to it there. But also, most people were wrong. 53% on deer. I clocked that deer ass real quick.
Where's the deer ass?
Like right there. If you just like look at the deer and then move over toward the bush, right before you hit the actual green of the bush, there's a deer ass. And then you can kind of see its head down there.
See, this is why you're such a good hunter. This is why we survived the Oregon Trail and made it into 3rd place until, I don't know, something happened.
This next post was a Plexus post, which I wasn't going to take a screenshot of because I'm like, MLMs. But then I knew I had to because, so first she posts this. You don't really even need to read it. It's just Plexus, blah, blah, blah. Immediately after, she writes, oh, wait, it was an hour later. Even funnier. For the same picture. And then for everyone running to send me a message because of the misspelling, I already have several notifications, so you don't need to send more. I'm glad everyone is reading the caption so closely. So she posted this instead of then taking it down and then just reposting it with the fixed text. She's like, I'll just leave that and then correct it on a second story.
What did she spell wrong?
Plexus has been granted a patent for this product. This is their second patent.
Oh, it's the wrong there.
Yes.
That's what people are getting on her by. Why did she put the melting face emoji?
I don't know. She did. She put the melting face emoji after. So you don't need to send more.
For everyone running to send me a message because of the misspelling, I already have several notifications, so you don't need to send more. Smiling melting.
God, hilarious.
Does Janelle know what a patent is? Does she know?
I don't really know what a patent is.
Well, okay.
me and my friends like wrote a song, like a 8-bar thing, and we wanted, like, we were looking into getting a patent on it. We were like asking teachers, like, you probably don't need to though. I forget what the thing was. Me
Like
and some
copyright?
dorky ass friend of mine in like 5th grade, like created like a song, and we were like serious about wanting to get it copyrighted. We were worried.
You still know it? You still know it?
I truly don't. You know I would sing it for you, girl.
Okay.
And before we close out Browntown this week, actually, I think I had a video with Mary in it. Just play it.
Yes,
like
Sing yourself.
Of North American English, the vowel of the second syllable is deleted and the word is pronounced as one.
Yeah, that's bad
What's
places.
the
So
second
like
syllable?
so like it's
Or the
or
second vowel?
it's like orange.
Everybody says it that way. That's how I say it.
Defending yourself.
I thought that was actually kind of like wasn't
careful.
not funny. I was waiting for a wheeze that didn't come, and I'm feeling maybe her comedy chops are starting to get a little more fine-tuned.
Was she trying to say that she says and that's funny?
I don't know, because they were recording it, so clearly she had already said it, and then they were reenacting this. And I assume
By
the
the
guy
way, that was Free Fallin' Sweatshirt.
Free-Fallin'.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talking.
He's gonna get us demonetized again. We're gonna get demonetized.
Probably. Ooh, Krista says that she saw Mary's live selling her clothes and she swears she was drunk.
Was she this drunk?
As I was walking down the street, I heard
All right, I won't make you guys sit through the whole thing.
That was still insane. I cannot believe that happened.
That was nuts. And so before we close out this town of Brown, I did jump into the Instagram comments for Cody and Robin. So let's go through them here. Cody, Puppy Manners School says, why does your profile still say you have 4 wives? You put off everything.
Wow.
Shots fired. Susie Q says, dude, watching you squirm is the most satisfying thing for all women. The best part is that Christine found love and you
And a D.
And a D. You are still stuck in the pain of controlling behavior. Clap, clap, clap. Pray, pray, pray. # dumbest piece of shit.
P spelled wrong, but hey, doesn't matter. We get it.
We get it. You're incensed. Over on Robin's here, people are obviously coming after the dolls a lot in the comments. Theus says Christine did not have money to pay Isabel's surgery, and you spent money to buy dolls. Family paid your credit card debt. Family paid for your failed business. Mary and Janelle gave their Las Vegas house money to buy a mansion to you, and you spent $62,000 to buy dolls. And then Amanda Noor tells the other wives to budget better, and then proceeds to spend $70,000 on Etsy. I love how the amounts keep going up now. Hilarious.
Yeah, saved her grocery money for dolls.
What a dumb bitch. And in last 310 weeks ago, Robin wrote Love and Save the Day. And FDA Seldes wrote POS. And JNE says, your eyebrows are just as bad as your personality. Do you draw them on with your eyes closed? And with that, we'll wrap up.
That's so good. Hey guys, if you want to request shows for Total Request Podcast, you pick the shows, we break them down. We love just off the wall, crazy new, crazy old, whatever you want.
Dragnet.
Let us know. Yeah, send them over. You can post them Facebook or email them to.
Don't post them to Facebook. Just email them to Amanda Jody.
Okay.
Or gmail.com. My God. You can also message us on Patreon. Also, our entire TRP backlog from like COVID days are on the Patreon, which is a separate Patreon. Again, we've been doing this 10 years now, so everything's kind of a disaster out there. But check out TRP on Patreon. It's like $4 a month, and you can just listen to.
You get all
new episodes.
Episodes, not just from when you start. You get everything. And
leave us a voicemail too. It's pinned to the top of our Patreon page, and it's also in our featured stories on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. We love to hate everything on Facebook. That's it, I think, right?
Aw,
Well,
thank you
so.
guys. And also
Mhm.
smash that like, press a thumbs up, subscribe, go check out Pod in
Leave
the
a comment.
City. We honestly, seriously appreciate you guys showing up every
Love
week
having you
and
guys here. It's
telling
awesome.
everyone about it. So we love you. And we'll be here next week, every Monday, noon central.
Join us.
Aminata.
You're all adults. Bye-bye. The fuck? Well, guys, it's been a blast. Thank you so much for joining us today on our We Love to Hate Everything channel. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a like or even a comment, and click on that bell if you want notifications, because you never know when we might pop up and go live. Please check out our other 2 podcasts on Patreon, where we snark on even more TV, movies, and pop culture. We got Total Request Podcast, that's patreon.com/trpod, and We Love to Hate TV, patreon.com/Love to Hate TV. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.